Oh, there we go. Hey. Oh, I look so close. Okay. Okay. Oh, my hair look nippy. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. So this is the Truth Be Told. We are on KUAW. That's Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's global community radio station. So we are, if you have a business or an event that you would like sponsored here on KUAW, then please feel free to email us at KUAW985@gmail.com. You can call in anytime during this live broadcast at 816-599-6893. That number is scrolling on the top of your screen. So at any time you want to call in during this live broadcast, please feel free to do so. You can also visit our website at www.kuaw.org. Of course, if you're watching me live on Facebook, hi. And if you're listening to me over the air via TuneIn or via the website and you would like to watch me live, then please click over to our Facebook page, KUAW-LPFM at G or 98.5 on Facebook. We also live right now too on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, KUAW, all the way across the board. So we definitely have those there for you to be able to check out and enjoy. We are a listener sponsored station, so at any time that you would like to do a love donation to KUAW, please feel free to do so via any of those avenues. We truly appreciate it so that we can keep providing good content here to you from KUAW. Okay, so I got a lot that I kind of want to get into. Can you switch this over to Facebook? I'm sorry. Can you switch the screen over to Facebook? Um. So, um. Okay, so it's a lot of things going on, you know what I'm saying? As I was trying to think about what do I want to talk about on the Truth Be Told today, I was thinking about, I made a status trying to get people to, you know what I'm saying, see what you guys want to talk about. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I know I wasn't really here last week. So I think the last time I was here, the thing with George Floyd had just taken place. At this time now, we didn't had his memorial. We didn't had numerous protests. I believe it was every state across the United States of America had a protest, which was good. Definitely appreciate, you know what I'm saying, just the love and the recognition. Now, also that comes along with this, you know, that we are a technological, if that's the word I'm trying to use, a technical generation now, like hands-on, like everything, you know what I'm saying, that we're Islam sister Kimbe, but everything that you know that we do now is kind of mirrored against social media. We have social media to keep us up on our news. A lot of people don't even watch the news anymore, you know what I'm saying? It's like social media is really the contact that we have. And so we know that with all these things going on, there's so much negative stuff. It's like so many other situations that kind of where we are being. Why are you turning my mic all the way off? I can't hear me. Okay. Um. So that threw me off. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So what I was saying is, so with all this stuff going on, you know, that's how we really kind of see the world nowadays. You know, we have young children know how to work these cell phones and tablets and computers and everything like that, you know, at very young ages nowadays. So we have to think about, you know, sometimes do we want to take a step back, because sometimes it can be overwhelming, you know what I'm saying? It pumps us full of negativity. Like, I know if you listen to my show before, then you heard me kind of talk about the news. Like, I don't really watch the news just because it keeps us, you know what I'm saying, in a state of fear and certain energies and levels. When you know about the energies and the levels and everything about you know, your frequency and everything like that, you tend to start to guard these things. You know, once you learn knowledge of them, you tend to be wise about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's applying understanding, like understanding them and being wise about it. You know, so we see all these things and we share these type of things or whatever, and these we have to realize also just kind of in the world in general, this how we really are. We are the human race. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like we taken on this mentality of individualism. It's my business. What I do doesn't affect anyone else. Like, you know what I'm saying? All type of things like this certain mindset, of everyone like just being in their own little bubble. And we lose sight of humanity. We lose sight of, yes, we are individuals, but we are individuals that collectively make up a whole. And that whole is humanity. It's like everything that we do affects someone in some type of way. You can say it's my business, it's my choices, I do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about what I do or anything like that. But at the end, y'all make sure y'all comment in, let me know, saying what you think or whatever. But it's like we are all of this part of humanity. So if we and it's just like we have to kind of start taking that into consideration. Like right now, our people are following humanity. I looked into I was wondering, what I'm saying, more so just doing research because we're into this Black Lives Matter right now, right? With all the protesting and everything going on, all the different situations that are coming up with the things that are the police brutality against us, and just feeling like no one is really out there for us. Everyone has been for our oppression, just holding us down, holding us back, don't really want us to prosper, you know what I'm saying? Not really setting up avenues that for us to prosper. But then you forget, it's like you have to go back and you kind of trying to remember or think on, you know what I'm saying? Like we used to rule the world. And so I heard a song the other day. Shout out to Brother Amor 265. But I heard a song the other day, and he was rapping, and he said in the song, and he was just like, how we go from ruling the world to being victims of the world. It's like, and then I looked at, I hear that, and I look at people with signs, saying Black Lives Matter. It's like for just someone to just trying to get someone to acknowledge that we matter, it's like the lowest type of thing, like the lowest of the tadpole. Like, it's like we're asking you, is it okay for us to exist? We're trying to get you to realize that we deserve to exist, not we deserve to prosper, not that we deserve to own businesses, not that we deserve to be able to get loans from the bank and be able to develop generational wealth for our children, not that we should be able to run corporations and trillion-dollar businesses as Amazon has done. Not that we should have the recognition for all the inventions and the stoplights and the washing machines and the peanuts that you eat today. Like, not that we should have recognition for all the people that have been murdered at the hands of just someone that has, for some reason, considered themselves superior over us. You know what I'm saying? We just saying that we should matter, and it's like we have to get back. It's how, as humanity as a whole, as individuals that's given into this pool of energy to pull us up out of the depth of what it is now that we're in now, the depth of ignorance really is what it is. It's a depth of ignorance that we are in now. And so how do we pull ourselves up out of this, you know what I'm saying, without looking for someone to throw us a rope? Because a lot of things that we and I know this might be a hard conversation for some, you know what I'm saying, because like I said, it's the truth be told. And yes, I definitely believe that yes, we matter, yes, we exist, yes, we exist. We, like I said, at one point in time we ruled this world, and if we get down into the actual power of the actual beings, divine beings that we really are, that comes with the knowledge of self and the customs and the traditions of self, all these things that were stolen from us, you know what I'm saying, all these things that were stolen from us, all this history and knowledge that was stolen from us. It's like we have to get back, or have to be able to collectively come into an idea of bringing ourselves back up out of this. You know what I'm saying? And get back into the ways of our ancestors. We sit up here and we wear shirts that say, for our ancestors, Juneteenth is coming around, say we do it for our ancestors, like all this kind of stuff or whatever. But we have to really honor our ancestors, to really respect our ancestors. We have to get back to the way of thinking and knowledge and wisdom of our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with a lot of things. That comes with your character. That comes with your belief systems. That comes with a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to get back to that way of thinking if we want to pull ourselves up out of things, because we shouldn't be holding signs that say Black Lives Matter. That's the lowest of the totem pole. Now, granted, that is what we have to do now because of the situations that we're in now. And what we're in now deserves change. What we're in now deserves to be upheld. The thing about it is, it's like we're just asking for, and not really asking. I don't even want to say the word asking. Demanding at this point. See, we used to ask, you know what I'm saying? Like Martin and them back in the day, they used to ask, they wanted to do sit-ins. They do these peaceful protests, and this whole thing about peaceful protests as well. This whole thing about peaceful protests. It's like we see the pictures of when they first got there. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody's looking all peaceful and stuff like that. But we know the real deal. We know the dogs that came out, the tear gas and stuff that they have now, the billy clubs. They was beating people down that were non-violent. These people were not rioting. These people were not trying to harm anyone. These people were just trying to have their voice heard at a certain amount of time. So when we talk about these peaceful protests, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like let me just say some things about that as well, because even here in Kansas City, we talk about the rioters and we talk about the people that the business owners and the businesses that are ruined during this time, and things like that. And it was a video that I saw on Facebook, YouTube. I seen it on Facebook, YouTube. I mean, I've seen it a couple of places. And it's like, we don't really care about like burning these things down or whatever. It's like we don't own any of it. We've been hindered from being able to own any of these things. The corporations are covered with insurance and everything like that. Because even if we think about that, the thing about it is our people, like I said, we're not even out there just out there, we're just out there trying to have basic civil rights. It's this video. If y'all are familiar on Instagram, it's if you go to Will Smith in Instagram, that's where I seen it. I'm pretty sure it's other places right now, but if you go to Will Smith's Instagram, he has a video on there, and he was talking about it was a comedian, and they were talking about the whole Black Lives Matter things, and we always got to find a way to laugh through some stuff. You know what I'm saying, to keep us from really feeling this stuff, because the girl has said in this video, she said it's lucky that our people just want equality and not revenge. You know what I'm saying? It's to think, if we really started seeking revenge for all the things that have been done, you know what I'm saying, at the hands of the European to us, you know what I'm saying, to hinder our people, the world, and that's another thing that, with the all lives matters people. Okay, I had to address this too, because I was I was on Facebook. Y'all know I be on my Facebook and everything, and so I was on Facebook, and just scrolling through statuses and things like that or whatever. And so, as someone says, that all lives matter. And we also see this little saying that goes around. It's like, by us saying that Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that only Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? We're not sitting up here saying that anything ever matters. We're just simply trying to get you to understand that our lives matter too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be doing the things. It's so I really I know my mind be jumping all over the place with this topic, because it's just so much wrapped into it. On one set, it's like we are instilling fear into ourselves, feeling we fear. It's like we're allowing fear to be instilled in us, you know what I'm saying, by just the actions of everything like that, to the point where we're teaching that fear to future generations. So it's like they're growing up in that fear. And then we have all these family of police officers, just like I talk about the political parties, right? These are families of people, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, people, when you, most police officers that you meet, oh, they daddy was a police officer, they grandfather was a police officer, like, you know what I'm saying? These are family of police officers. And then when we look at our people, we are fearing the police because of all these outside stimulus and stuff that's going on. So I'm really proud to you know what I'm saying, to stand up and say, I don't care. I really, you know what I'm saying, don't care what you say. I'm really proud of seeing the protesters. Now, mind you, I'm not out there protesting. I'm not gonna do that, but I will donate to, you know, pass out to people. But that's because I protect my own energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you, like, it goes back to what I was saying, you know, at first, is when you have a knowledge of the energy fields, and this being an energy field and everything, you don't surround yourselves with certain things. You don't let certain things come into you, so that you can make sure that you can control you. I know my limits. So I know I get out there, start hearing all that stuff, get amped up and all this other kind of stuff, and it just be all things down, because you start just thinking about all the things that have been done. You start thinking about all the ways that it can affect your life. It could be my dad, it could be my son, it could be my brother, like it could be my uncle, like my auntie. Like we're not even just hindered to just men at this point. So you can't come into the situation and say that all lives matter, because if these lives don't matter, then that means all lives don't matter, because these lives are part of all lives matter. So if you feel like all lives matter, you will be out there just as irate as everyone else, because the thing about it is, it's not really black versus white or us against each other. At this point, it's police brutality. These police officers, they think that they take an oath and they somehow get a badge to kill. They've been growing up in families. And see, the thing about it is, they talk about defunding the police officer. Right now, the whole big thing with everyone is defunding police officers, because they are public servants. They are paid with taxpayers' money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for us to get out there and vote in local elections and everything like that, or whatever, because these are the ways that we can affect that and affect where our tax dollars go. But you have to be able to understand that and be willing to accept that and be willing to take those steps and do anything that matters. I talk about all the time, you know what I'm saying? People make it seem like Martin and Malcolm was a non-violent versus a violent type of thing or whatever, but no, it was a different mindset. See, Malcolm X said by any means necessary. So that means by all means that I can take, I will travel. By all paths that will take me to come to the conclusion to what it is what I'm wanting, I will take that. That's the same way we have to look at voting and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Those things are all paths and all goes into by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily tearing things up, burning things down, and all this negative things, because again, it goes back to understanding energy and understanding your part in the whole. You know what I'm saying? Because you give off energy. That's like right now we on a radio station, and it has a tower. That tower is shooting off energies. Anyone within a certain range can pick up on that frequency and hear what's going on that certain frequency. If y'all don't know, that frequency is 98.5. You know what I'm saying? FM. But it's like, it's a tower. So if we look at ourselves as individual radio towers, and we are giving off this energy that is coming from us, and anyone within a certain radius can pick up and dwell on this same frequency, we would have to be more responsible with the frequencies that we let off. We would have to be more responsible in protecting that frequency and controlling that frequency. You know what I'm saying? Controlling that. I'm saying frequency because better wording, for understanding, so that everyone could understand. But no matter what, some people call it the spirit, some people call it energy, some people call it frequency, some people call it intuition. Like, it's so many different ways. Auras, there are so many different names for it, which is, confusing in itself. Like, it's like, just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? So and make sure you guys, comment and let me know what you think and everything too, because I'm gonna bring all this back together. Y'all know I am. But so we have to double, just like, just even with everything that's going on, that brings me, it would carry me back to what I was saying at first with the things with social media and the things that we post. Like, we have to make sure, if you know that you're spreading off if this is what you're putting out on your frequency, and you're spreading it to anyone that comes in contact with this same level, or within a certain range of this energy, or a certain range of this frequency, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if we realize that that is what we're doing, we have to take a more responsibility in what it is that we do. We can't just be sitting up here posting fake articles just to, you know what I'm saying, just because, to try to make someone laugh or anything like that. Because I know on my Facebook I have what, like almost 3,000, 4,000 friends and everything like that. So when I post something, like, yeah, it's my page, okay? So it's my choice. It's my choice. I can do what I want. You don't have to friend me, this and that, but you probably sent me a friend request in the first place, right? And so I have to realize that what I put out on my social medias and everything like that is going to hit, probably, and not all the time the way Facebook and everything has been running now, but gonna hit, we're gonna say at least 30% of those followers, or 10% of those followers. So at least 300 people within my frequency is gonna see this post, and they're gonna read this post, and it may affect their day. It may, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say send out positive vibes. We have to learn how to be positive in all situations, and also remember, yeah, now I always go back to divine law. You know what I'm saying? Because we think about, we out there, they out there on the plaza tearing up stores, all this, you know what I'm saying, doing all these things or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, on one hand, we don't own it. It ain't ours. They don't let us do there. They prejudice down here. Really don't care. They got insurance to cover it. Like, all these other excuses to excuse the lower self behavior. And, I got to start being like Confucius, because it says, Confucius is known for saying that the beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper names. And sometimes I get into a habit of just trying to sugarcoat things so that just so they don't sound so harsh, or just so people can relate, when you are, just so people can relate to it or whatever. So I'm gonna get more into expressing what these things, the proper name for these things, like Christianity call it the devil. They say the devil is a lie. You know what I'm saying? All these other ideas is and we have to be able to understand, the lower self is all these negative things, the lower vibrations that you can dwell in on this, on like a scale. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a scale. You go from lower to higher, from higher to lower, however you want to kill it. But it's things, anger, hate, lewdness, murder, theft, all these things that cause our world to be a hell, basically. So anyway, so we make excuses to go down here, act a fool, okay, dwell in our lower selves and everything. But at the end of the day, do we understand that the universe did not connotate what it is or they did not excuse what it was, what you were doing, because of the situation that you were going through at the time, or the emotions that you were going through at the time. The emotions that you were going through at the time, you know what I'm saying? So the universe did not convict that. So you are still playing into these universal laws. You are still playing into the law of karma. You are still playing into the law of cause and effect. So these things are still going to come back on you, no matter what your reasoning for doing what it is that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So as a godly people, as a divine people, we have to know how to dwell we have to learn how to dwell and handle situations in our higher self, because that's how we're going to beat. So you can't beat a devil at their game. Everybody get mad when Louis Farrakhan calls the European the devil, and you know what I'm saying, everything like that or whatever. You're not gonna beat the devil at his own game. You know what I'm saying? No matter however you might look at that, or if you may say that that is racist and all Europeans are not devils and everything like that or whatever, which that is true. It's on Brother Johnson Bay. That is true. You know what I'm saying? Not all people, because a lot of them have been diluted with with our DNA anyway. You know what I'm saying? And a lot, and we and you have to understand, you have to take deeper understanding and not just look at it as surface level. You know what I'm saying? Because we look at the devil as being something things, but it's really just a certain characteristic, you know? And the thing about it is we're not blind to the fact of, we make jokes. If they say something about a mass shooting or something like that, you like, oh, it must have been a European. We make jokes about these things because we know the certain characteristics of these people. So don't get all butt hurt. Can I say that on the radio? Okay, so don't get out, you know what I'm saying, butt hurt, caught up on the wording. You know what I'm saying? Just say it. You know, we have to just think about it. We have to take it for how it is. Everybody get mad when it's said, but what I mean by that is when you look at history, ever since the European has came up out of these mountains from, you know, the caveman and everything, ever since the European has came up out of the dark ages, okay, they have taken everything that they have gotten by war, by bloodshed, by violence. No matter where you look at it, even in the religion, they had religious wars. They would like to make you think that it was Muslims that started terrorizing in the name of God. But no, you had the Roman Crusades. You had a whole era in time of Catholics and religious people all trying to conquer over a people in the name of God, in the name of their God, in the name of their religion. You know what I'm saying? In the view and the vision of their religion. So if you look back at the history of the people, we're not talking about individual people of who you may know and who you might know or anything like that. We're looking at it as a whole, and the things that, you know, go down into it. We you know, the 4th of July is about to come up, okay? The 4th of July is a very the 4th of July is a reputation, and I gotta take a break, but the 4th of July is a very good representation of what it is that I'm talking about as far as how to go as far as the Europeans, okay? Because we talk about Christopher Columbus and his whole little crew that sailed the Great Big Blue in 1492. Y'all know that? We learned that song in school. You know what I'm saying? So we you know what I'm saying? So we know this song and we know that what happens. But what they do not tell you is that the people that were sailing on those ships, you know what I'm saying, were the exiles of Europe or Britain at that time. So when they came over here in 1492 and 1776, and your Independence Day, they talk about the Declaration of Independence. Your Independence Day is not when we gained our independence from them. That is when they gained their independence from themselves, who were holding them hostage, because like I said, they were the thieves, they were the robbers, they were the bottom, they were the lowest of the low. And where they come, they were exiled from where they were from for when they came over here before America. You know what I'm saying? When we think about this declaration or whatever, so we can't get mad at Louis Farrakhan for calling a spade a spade. If he said the white man is a devil, I mean, I think you should look more into it. Like, I just think you should just do a little bit more history on it again. Don't get caught up in the wording. It's just a metaphor for you to be able to relate to it in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, these things, when you talk about devil, dragon, beast, all these things represent characteristics of a certain people. It's not really anything much more than that. So, hey, Michelle. So yeah. So, I got to take a break, huh? Okay, so I got to take a break real fast. I ask that you guys bear with me. Take this time to like this video, share this page, like KUAW, get you something to drink, whatever. Now I'm just saying, I'll be back in about 90 seconds. Hey, okay, and we're back. So I appreciate you guys for bearing witness. And again, if you have a business or an event that you would like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure that you make sure that you I'm sorry, I can't see myself. There I go. Make sure that you can feel free to shoot us an email at kuaw985@gmail.com. And yeah, so appreciate you guys for that. Again, we are a listener sponsored station, so if you would like to bless us with a love donation so we can continue to provide great content here from you at KUAW, make sure that you like the page so you get notifications of all the great shows that we got going on over here at KUAW and all the moves that we are making in the future. Alrighty, so again, we were talking about this July 4th because I am so with canceling July 4th this year, and I don't even care if you don't replace it with Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Even though you should, if you would like to, you know what I'm saying, because it does go into, okay. So since this is the truth be told, and we were talking about the Declaration of Independence, because I had gotten into it with this little European lady on Facebook or whatever, and she tried to tell me, but that's what the Declaration of Independence is for, and you know what I'm saying, all these kind of stuff over there. It's really crazy how some of these people think. You know what I'm saying? She even told me that her life will always be more precious in God's sight than ours, and all kind of stuff like that. And I was like, girl, if you only knew, if you only knew who you was talking to, like they didn't used to call us witches for nothing, okay? Like, don't play with us, okay? But anyway, that's something totally different. But I just want to talk about so I brought her up for a reason. I just got off on a tangent or whatever. Now I'm talking about, okay, so we're talking about Declaration of Independence. So 1776. So we talking about, I told y'all I'm gonna tie this whole thing back in for y'all. So if you just now tuning in, you're gonna have to go back and watch the beginning of the show and everything like that, so that you can figure out what it is that, you know, how it all ties in together or whatever. So we've been talking about this Black Lives Matter movement, okay? And so she said the Declaration of Independence. We know the Declaration of Independence took place in 1776. They celebrate this as a day of freedom. You know what I'm saying? We all over the world celebrate this as a day of freedom. We don't realize that day, July 4th in 1776, is what allowed the robbers and thieves and scum of Europe that were exiled over here to take away our identity. In 1776, they relinquished the Declaration of Independence, and they put the names of Negro, colored, Ethiopian, black people. We got all these names in 1776. It's been changing ever since. You can look at a timeline, because first you were Ethiopian, then you were a Negro, then you were a colored, then you were a black person because we were black and we were proud, and then we were African Americans. Now we're back to black this, black that, Black Lives Matter, like all these things, right? We're back into all this. July 4th, 1776 is what allowed them to give you those names. That is what allowed them, that started the delinquishes of your memories. Now, that ain't what started it. That's what continued the delinquishes of your memory of who you were as a people. That's what took away your identity, your rights, and all these things that you say that you should have a part of, all these type of things that you say that we should matter, like all these things. You know what I'm saying? That we're out here protesting for. Not saying that it's not getting protested in right way, because people gotta meet where they are. You know what I'm saying? But we also have to understand, because it's gonna become a time. We did this with Mike Brown. Granted, we didn't get as much ground coverage and as much done as anything, because really it's kind of like nothing really happened out of the Mike Brown situation. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of change coming within this protest and this rioting. So I'm never gonna say that there's a right way and a wrong way to do it or whatever, anything like that. But we have to continue. So it's what's next. When we're done with the protesting, when we got guilty convictions, when we got them in jail, when we, you know what I'm saying? When we feel like when we feel like we have been fed. It says, don't forget your people. It says, like, when we feel like we have been fed to the satisfaction of what it is that we want out of these processes that we are doing now, what is next? What is to come out of that? And so it comes back to what I was saying at the beginning of this show. We have to go back. We have to get back to the knowledge and understanding and traditions of our ancestors, these very ancestors that we claim to honor, these very ancestors that we praise in liberation. Hey, Tania, these very ancestors that we have to get back to the knowledge and the understanding and the wisdom that they held to be able to be the people that they were prior to 1492, before they started calling you black, before they started calling you a Negro. You know what I'm saying? Prior to they stole your language, prior they stole your education, prior that they stole your fortune. Your land, everything that we have, everything that we own, that, that's another thing that I don't get with why I can't really get with the sovereignty thing, because to me, it's like laying down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just going to say, yeah, you can have my land. Like, no, this was mine. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, like I said, I definitely support everything that was going on, because you got statues of slave people and monument peoples or whatever. You got those things coming down all across America. Yes, they should have been down when slavery got abolished, and y'all realized that it was wrong, because you realized that the same people that told you it was legal. You know what I'm saying? Abraham Lincoln should have had all of them taken down when he abolished it with the 13th Amendment and all this other kind of stuff. Well, not really abolished. See, that's where we got to be careful. We got to watch the words that we use, because they didn't abolish it. They camouflaged it in what's known as the prison system. Because they'll never forget that the prison system is modern day slavery. All the things that we're going out doing and riding out that they're starting, because we ain't breaking no windows. That ain't what we down there for. The real people that's down there, we ain't thinking about breaking no windows. No, we mad for real. We tired for real. We don't want to have to worry about if our husband gonna make it home at night. We don't want to have to worry about if my son not gonna get the same opportunity as your son to be all that he can be, just because you look at him as a threat. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, there's no ages, and it's not just one set of people. There's a lot of people that think like this. There's a group of people that think like this, that really have this type of mentality. So it's like, what are you going to do about it? They're looking at you. It's like they're doing things like that. So of course I would never go against what my people are doing, whatever it is, wherever you are right now. And if wherever you are right now is Black Lives Matter, then hey, Black Lives Matter. You feel me? Like, and that's just what it is, whether I agree with, calling yourself black or anything, because it's a start. You know what I'm saying? To understand that you are not getting treated with, the thing about it is, they say, now I ain't never been to an AA meeting or anything like that or whatever, but I watch a lot of movies and I hear about this thing, but it's first it's saying is that you can't be in denial, acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? At first you have to acknowledge that you even have a problem. We have to acknowledge that there is a problem. And see, this is what made the acknowledgement worldwide. There's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know right now if it's black versus white. I don't know if it's the people versus the police. We got a lot of different problems melted up because we're a melting pot. It's a lot of different problems that's going on right now. But the world is waking up to realize that there is a problem. So now that once we get established, now we to get these things established, that you are not going to be, that I'm not just going to lay down and let you, I don't want to say that because that's kind of would be insensitive right now, but I'm not just going to lay down and while you just walk all over me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to let you do whatever it is that you think that you can do to me because of who you think you are or because of the hue of your skin or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And we can't instill fear into our young men. We need to be grooming people to replace these people. You know what I'm saying? And well, that's what I was talking about. We talking about defunding police. We defunding the police officers or whatever. Yeah, maybe we do need some type of different organization altogether. Because if you even think of the foundation of the police department with the sheriff and the star and all that kind of stuff, they were slave hunters. They hunted runaway slaves. That is the foundation of what we call the police system. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that does need to be defunded. But at the same time, we can't steer our people out of it because it ain't going to be right if we ain't in it. We can't steer our young men away from this. We can't instill fear. We can't have them out there looking at like all police are bad. We cannot, you know what I'm saying? We have to encourage them to go up and make a change. Like, yeah, they not doing it right. They have to be justice. We have to encourage them to do the same thing with politicians. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, these people stay in these positions of powers because they are families. When you think about the Bush family, the father and the son was president. That's a political family. When you look at police officers, my daddy was a police officer. His grandpa was a police officer. That is a police officer family. They are grooming these children to be this. While we're grooming our children to walk away from it. We're grooming our children to fear it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love these protests right now, because it's stand up for who you are. You stand up for your rights, whatever that might be right now. You stand up for what that is, because it's a beginning, you know, and then eventually when all these things is matter, we will move forward to the next step. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna continue just to be a continuous fight. When you start to realize what it means to be black in the law, in the eyes of the law. I recommend that all of our people go out and get a Black's Law dictionary. You know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't heard me, this is a very expensive dictionary, but it's a good investment. You got one? Yeah, like it's an expensive dictionary. You might like, I ain't paying that much for a dictionary. I can get Webster. Who is Webster? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we have to understand what it is, because a Black's Law dictionary, and it doesn't mean that it's for black people. I have to explain this all the time. It's called Black's Law dictionary because it was written by Robert Black. But the importance of this dictionary is it is how law is defined. Every lawyer, every judge, every police officer, this is what they take an oath against. This is what defines the Constitution, not Webster. Webster don't define the Constitution. You go into a courtroom or you go into a Supreme Court trial, you're not going to see a Webster dictionary nowhere in there. You're going to see a Black's Law dictionary in there. That's definitely going to be in there. You're not going to see that. So all our people need to we have to become aware of what these things are. You know what I'm saying? Just to understand where it is that we're going to go next. Because it's like, I say all the time, you know, back in the day, they got mad. Who is Webster? They got mad at Stacey Dash. Y'all remember when Stacey Dash got arrested for, what was it, like domestic violence or something like that or whatever, and her little police mugshot thing came out, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff came out or whatever. And on her thing, she was listed as white. The world was like, oh, she's canceled. She da-da-da. She don't love who she is. This, and that. That's ignorance. That is ignorance. You feel me? Because anyone that's ever read a Black's Law dictionary knows that white and black is a status. It has nothing to do with the hue of your skin. You are not black. You know what the color black look like. You know what I'm saying? I be telling you all the time, it's just like playing a game of chess. You look at the chessboard, you look at the chess pieces. It is a status. These things represent something. And black in the law, see, it's like you got to go a step further. You cannot go say Black Lives Matter. You got to go want to change the legal definition and what it means to be black. If you want to call yourself black and you want to cling onto those names, you have to figure out how to get into legislation and how to change the law of what the word black means, if that's what you want to claim on it. Because right now, as it stands in the Constitution, in the police officer's eyes, and everybody's eyes that ever deals in law, is a lower class citizen that's not even a full person. That is written directly in the Constitution. It tells you 3/5 of a person. That has never changed. That has never changed. It might have changed in our minds. It's never changed on paper. It's never changed in law. If we want to affect real change, we got to get down to the things that matter. Not saying that what it is that we're not doing nothing now. The police that's the bottom of the toll pole. What about the judges? What about the prosecutors? What about the Supreme Court rulers? What about these people that are really up in? What about the senators, the representatives, the president? You know what I'm saying? What about these people? The police officers? This like, okay, we're going to deal with y'all now. We got to deal. That's just the first step. I'm telling you, that's the lowest of the organizations that we should really be concerned in. That. But the thing of it is, right now they're the most they seem the most deadliest because of social media. They seem the most deadliest because of everything that we're seeing right now. But you ain't thinking about how many public defenders then locked up your brother or your cousin or somebody into this legal slavery by making them take a plea deal. Kamala Harris, you know what I'm saying? Satoya Brown, like, you know what I'm saying? All these women are all our people that are. We got a brother right here from Kansas City. My sister was just telling me about. He was locked up for 23 years for a murder that they knew he didn't commit. They exonerated him. He had a life sentence. They exonerated him. Locked up 23 years of your life. Just because a lawyer that wasn't real enough to represent who you really were. You know what I'm saying? A lawyer wasn't there to educate you because he looked at you as a black person. He looked at you as a lower class citizen that didn't deserve the rights and privileges of the Constitution, that are not entitled to the rights and privileges of the Constitution. They laughed at Stacey Dash because her status was white when all of our status are white. If you look at the definition of the white, we just went through the census right now, and it's so many, they turned our people against the census to the point where you don't even read the census when it comes to you. You don't even look at it. You throw it in the trash like junk mail. Probably didn't even come through the mail this year. You didn't never go on the census2020.com. Even though they tell you they was going to give you jobs that was going to pay you $30 an hour, you still didn't go to the website. Because in your mind, you've been programmed to say, F the census. They not for us. None of that. But the census is what defines who you are. If you read the census, it tells you that white is indigenous to the Americas and North Africa. That's why the Middle Eastern people and all the Rashida and all them, Talib and all them in the senators, they was voting because they said they shouldn't be classified as white because they don't look white. They look more like us. So it gives, when they classify them as white, you know, it gives the white community more money, more tax money, more school money. That's why they got better educations. They got better books. They got all these other things because that is what the census controls. But we never even read the definition to know where we fit in. We just automatically think that we know. How do you got black and white and they both say people who are from descendants of North America? How do you distinguish which one is which if it's not by ignorance? They both defined it North America. The Europeans told you. They tell you about the Atlantic slave trade. They tell you where they got you from. They tell you that it was the north and southwestern shores of Africa. That's what they tell you. Even though now some say it never really happened, who knows if it really happened or not, but they tell you where it came from, okay? At the end of the day, no matter if it happened the way that they said it happened or it didn't. But it's like we don't even read it because we're so influenced by what we see on the TV. We're so influenced by the movies. We're so influenced by what someone tells you. We don't even think too bad to look up these things and research them ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We jumped in and we just, social media, we jumped in and canceled Stacey Dash and you know what I'm saying, everything like that because, her status was white. And when I got an uncle right in St. Louis right now that his status is white because he went through the proper procedures to change it because he knew what it represents. He knew that if he went to the bank with a white status instead of a black status, he was more likely to get a loan. A business loan, a mortgage loan, an auto loan, no matter what, because that paper is that paper. They have to uphold. There's things that people have to uphold. When these public servants, you know what I'm saying, they take oaths. We say they're doing us bad. They don't care about us or whatever. When they say they took an oath to uphold the Constitution. Now, you're considering yourself black, and we already told you what the Constitution defines black as. So we have to get past that. Like I said, we have to use it as a stepping stone. It was a way to acknowledge that there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is with our own ignorance and not stepping up and saying that we know who we are, and now you're gonna respect us for who we are. Point blank, period. They're banking on you not knowing who you are. They banking on you not teaching your children who you are. You got people that say, who cares what happened before slavery? That was so long ago. Do you know how long we've been on this earth? on this planet Earth, for you to say 400 years was too long ago to try to go back before, that's ignorance. That is pure ignorance. And we cannot let ignorance be an excuse of our own oppression no more. That is something that's something that we also have to be able to come out of that. We can't use ignorance as an excuse to be blind to the conditions, you know what I'm saying, and things that we need to change. We cannot let ignorance to be the reason or excuse that we don't teach our children proper things of who they are and where they came from, and we allow them to be subconsciously programmed as lower than someone. If we start them off as slavery, then we are subconsciously programming them to let them know that they are always and always have been underneath someone else, lower than, looked at as less than someone else, treated like animals. If you let this be their only perception of who they are, that's what they continue to grow into. They continue to grow into the generation of Negroes that we have today. You know what I'm saying? They continue to grow into the ones that are shooting up. What was it? 5 people got shot on 18th and Vine. Four people got shot on 18th and Vine. They continue to be the generation that wants to break into cars and rape young women and steal credit cards and just kill each other, and all these things. They continue to grow into them if we let them grow up with the perception that they are less than. If we don't teach them something different, if we don't teach them who they truly are, if we don't teach them about the power that they truly possess, how will they ever use it? How will they ever come into the acknowledgement of it? Eventually, it will be forgotten. It's crazy now, you know what I'm saying? That's why they say that they didn't understand. They tried to cover us in darkness and didn't understand that we were seeds, that we were just gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? They're really astonished about how many of us right now have come into a knowledge of all these old teachings and old ways and traditions and knowledge, things that they tried to suppress from us for so long. And we help them by what we teach our children. They say that we have children at alarming rates. You know what I'm saying? They say that we have more children than, I guess, than they do and everything like that or whatever. But they also say that we are the most on government assistance, WIC, in the foster care system, don't really take care of our children. Most of the daddies are either police then killed them or the police then kidnapped them through the prison system. Either way, they then took them away from the children, from the child in their lives or whatever. So we continue to get this generations and generations of children who will forget who they are if we don't step up our own perception of knowledge and continue to grow and use this time as a awakening to better further future generations. Because it might not be, William Buffett, I gotta go, but William Buffett has one of my favorite quotes, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, he said he's planting a tree today so that his great grandchildren can enjoy the shade. He's not worried about the shade and enjoying the luxury of that tree right now, but 2-3 generations later, my future grandchildren will enjoy the fruits that come from this tree, the shade that this tree provides. We have to think about future generations. So real quick, ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. When you separate in the world, remember the relations that bonded you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity, assist him. If thy sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace.